chance to evacuate Earth before it is recycled.
The heartbeat of your local area on DAB and online at durhamair.com.
Here for you, your family, and the rest of your community in County Durham.
Providing the public with what matters most.
Hot fashion trends and the political gossip.
Chris Pollard once attacked me with a crossbow.
This is Chris Pollard Live.
Welcome back, one and all. Hello to Chris Pollard Live. Broadcasting tonight live once again from the Chris Pollard Live Community Contact Centre, where our mission statement is simply this: enriching the lives of our listeners, fixing the potholes of our minds, and rewarding those who dare to take a stance against Britain's big jacket potato companies. We'll decide if we're one for a jacket, thank you very much. Our sponsors tonight have thrust the show into existence, and we now must thank them. The Gallagher brothers reunite at last, putting their problems to bed and attempting to change the world one more time with their new remastered edition of the DVLA Hazard Perception Test, now with rude Mancunian dialect. We are also sponsored tonight by Mark Rollerball's exciting world of second-hand scratch cards, and our final sponsor tonight is ITV's hotly anticipated new Saturday night quiz show, hosted by Soccer Saturday legend Neil Warnock. 5 teams compete in impossible-sounding mental puzzles, deceptive challenges, and shameless betrayals for a shot at a luxury prize. Can You Defend the Current Government is on at 8 p.m, and this week features live musical guests, the Heartburn Sisters. It's been another week of torturous mayhem across the global geopolitical landscape, but can we really blame it all on Cristiano Ronaldo? Yes, and let's find out exactly why on tonight's programme. Because on tonight's programme we're going to be introducing 4 live salmon to the ecosystem of my attic, before welcoming our guest star this evening, Dame Stacey Crankshaft, philanthropist, philosopher, fashionista, and now convicted baboon abductor. Dame Stacey will recall the full story behind why she gave up her life in the jungle and why the music of Gareth Gates caused her to burn down a local branch of Nando's. All that and much, much more flying right at your new lovely hairstyle between now and 11 p.m. But first, we must celebrate the music of Tennessee Ernie Ford. Chris Pollard Live. My uncle wears a wig on DAB and online radio. Dokily neighborinos, how are we doing? Yes, welcome back to Chris Pollard Live. It's another Wednesday night show where the world's evils are compiled, styled and filed away for another day. When? Who's to say? There was Tennessee Ernie Ford with 16 Tons, an absolute classic. And before that we heard Last Chance to Save the Planet Before It Is Recycled by Porcupine Tree. Bit too long on that name. I hope you're doing well. I tell you why I'm doing well. It's only 3 sleeps till my Uncle Norman's wedding. But first, before we can start talking about my Uncle Norman and all he's going to be up to in that chapel, it's time to get you, the good listeners of Durham On Air, in with a chance to win our star prize tonight, as tonight's big question is revealed. And tonight's Chris Pollard Live big question is the following. How on earth do you spell rhododendron? Your best suggestions will be sent tonight for verification to local botanist Bruce Papyrus, and the closest answer we receive will be awarded tonight's big question, big prize. Our big question, big prize tonight is a 1 week free entry pass to the galleries of Durham's long-treasured St. Maverick's Conjunctivitis Hospital, Monday to Friday, 8 while 8, a true sight for sore eyes for you and your family. Although the rest of them will have to pay, this is only 1 week pass for one person. Later on tonight, I'm going to be finding out what you, my good friends at home, are doing over the Easter break, as I suspect the council are going to evict me this weekend, and I could do with a roof over my head, especially with the weather forecast the way it is. But that's levelling up for you. Also to come, I'm going to be having an honest chat with Daryl Horbsberg, a business owner and pioneer who was the singular mind behind the current mind-blowing 3-for-2 deal on salt and pepper beef at Horbsberg's Chinese Takeaway. If it's not Horbsberg's, it's just not Chinese. Right now, however, it's time for us to, before we move on to some music and some ad breaks, fun and frivolity, it's time to improve our lives immeasurably with the Community Corkboard. Yes.
The County Durham Community Corkboard.
Okie dokie. Yes, welcome to the County Durham Community Corkboard. It's where those announcements, those news items and those services that you have been sending in around County Durham are finally given some free advertising space on a public broadcast medium. It's not all about the money, you know. First up on the County Durham Community Corkboard, looking to form a new experimental band in the Staindrop area. Right now we only have a vocalist and a drummer, but we are looking to bring in a guitarist, a bassist, a saxophonist, a backup drummer, a backup saxophonist, a cellist, a wobbleboardist, harpsichordist, or someone who can play the electric Rubik's Cube. We have 9 songs planned out, and we have drawn inspiration from The Schoolyard Lozenges, Criticism on Wax, The Gentrification Brothers, His and Hers Toothpaste, Lost in a Cockerel, Injury Fitzgerald, and John Swanpass. You must be able to attend at least 2 practice sessions a week and hold high hopes for the return of the denim dungaree to high-end fashion retailers. Get in touch now if you are musically minded and you want to join this band. Next in, Darren Fracking has wrote in to offer his Lollipops for Hire service. Currently available all the way through to the school summer holidays, no less than 10 licks for 50p, no more than 14, there's a cost of living crisis on. Ring now, unless you're the police officer that keeps ringing me off different numbers. Next up, one of our regular listeners has written in to tell us that he has lost a wallet in Cold Heselton sometime last month. It had some, but not an unbelievable amount of money in it, he added. This is due to being a bit drunk at the time. He can't remember the exact amount within, and due to his intoxication levels, he can't also remember the specifics of the wallet. This is like colour, make, size, or name on cards. Mr. Frank Lyer also told us there will be a sizable reward on offer if, and I quote, if it does turn out to have plenty of cash in. So get in touch if you can help there with a mystery wallet lost in Cold Heselden. And finally here on the Community Corkboard, we have a post looking for assistance with a collection that is missing its final piece. Edith Bumgrove, 84 years old of Little Cabbages Court, has spent her retired life collecting 397 of the 398 available remaining pieces to the one and only jigsaw in existence to feature a fully nude Ainsley Harriott. My soul is unfulfilled until I get the last piece, and I know it's somewhere here in Durham. I'm willing to part ways with any sum of money, any at all, as it not only completes my puzzle, but is the only one that I really wanted to take a good long look at since my collection began. Ainsley's Hairless Harriet is out there somewhere in Durham, and you can make my dreams come true. Please, my fellow listeners. Very touching there from Edith Bumgrove. But it's time for some music. It's time to rev up the engines. And let's see you after the ad break, maybe. Welcome back to Chris Pollard Live. I hope you're all doing okay, and I hope that you're all finding this current, what's the word I'm looking for? Sickening state of affairs in the world, and indeed this country, manageable, and you're getting by without, yes. I don't know what I'm trying to talk about. There was the Soul Child remix of 19 to 2000 by Gorillaz. What an absolute slice of early 2000s, like nostalgia. I will have been about 5 or 6 when that came out. Still one of the first CDs I ever bought. Still one of my favourite bands ever. Wasn't that just a nice happy bit of happiness before I came in and ruined everything talking about reality. Before the ad break, you heard Ace of Spades by Motorhead. Of course you did. And still to come tonight, we've got a whole host of reasons to keep smiling in County Durham, including some live active crime association announcements, which means that crime is going on, but we are working together to combat said crime, along with some of the literature and publications that I read during the last 2 weeks, because I have been off a bit poorly and But right now, it's time for me to delve into the emails that I've received while I've been off, a bit sick, and it's indeed time to bestow my best costume for surgery. It's Dr. P.
Dr. P's Health and Spirituality Advice Lifeline.
Okie dokie. So this is the part of the program where I will read out some of the correspondence that's been sent in to me, mainly within regards to issues they're having in life. It's sort of an gender non-specific agony, and I'm just agony, pure agony, nothing but agony. Our correspondence here reads, I'm currently having sleepless nights while watching over my neighbour from my shed at the bottom of the garden. He simply insists on undressing with the curtains wide open every night from 9 till about 11:30, especially when his wife is away on nights. I dread to think that a lesser-minded woman, or let's be frank, a dirty pervert, will be looking at him and his nightly display of unadulterated tackle with nothing but Satan and sin in her thoughts. I've often considered confronting him in the garden as he hangs out his iconic blue boxers to dry, maybe those infamous red Calvins and those these days rare Lonsdale navies with a little ketchup stain on the side. What can I do to make sure that I am the only binocular-equipped saintly guardian of the night, and no one can take away my neighbour's delights? Yours, Anonymous. But her email that she sent it off does say Carol Fisher 83, so Carol. Anonymous Carol, Anonymous Carol, Anonymous Carol, Carol Fisher. Hello! I can truly understand your torture, because I too, surprisingly enough, went through a phase of checking up on my neighbour, you know, on a daily basis at one point. However, this neighbour in question was a 4-year-old rescue dog with no eyes called Jebediah, and there were very, 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 very few perverse reasons that I did that. So I suggest it will be best for the safety of your neighbour, the safety of your sanity, and indeed your own criminal record, if this is something in the future that you try to avoid. If you can afford to, why not buy a new house and live there instead? If you need a cut price remedy, why not print out a pair of small images of news anchor Trevor McDonald and glue those to the lenses of your binoculars. And the next time you feel anxious about public indecency, you can have the calming gratification of knowing that Uncle Trev has always got your back. Still to come on the show, I will be rewriting history and becoming the first man in England to take off a pair of flip-flops. In fact, let's do that right now. Record-breaking stuff here tonight. History rewritten in front of your very eyes. That's the British way. Still to come later also, I'll be speaking directly to Simon Nostrils. But right now, it's time for some jam. Most definitely it is. Here's In the City. I'll see you in a few.
Dara O'Brien.
One step beyond.
Yes. Hello. Welcome back to Chris Pollard Live. You've just heard In the City by The Jam. Iconic. Oh, God. Don't you love that sound? Miss it very much. After that, you heard Lazy, Express 2, David Byrne. Another bit of where all these early 2000s VH1 type music videos sat on my grandma's carpet, watching till my eyes bled, tikka masala flying everywhere, scratch cards basically falling out of the cupboards, rice, bits of rice everywhere. We've got a fully crammed show of music though, if while we're on the subject. We've got some more slices of old punk niceness from the Rezillos. We've got some classic rock goodness from Led Zeppelin. We've got some sort of weird stuff that we always hear on this program, as well as a great song from an artist called Big Pig. What else could you want on a Wednesday night? After me, I don't know if Fox is back with the punk corner yet. I will have to check up on that, but make sure that you don't miss Durham After Dark anyway. It's like radio without a presenter. Interesting. What it's time to do now, though, is it's time to clamp down on the crime that has been taking place in your local area and all around there as well, as we read the most recent bulletin from our Live Active Crime Association.
Live Active Crime Association.
I was a bit quiet there. I was a bit too slow on the old volume thingy. But that is with good reason, as I am chilled to the bone as I read this most recent announcement. And that is that local police chiefs and a trespassing rail enthusiast are still on the lookout for recent menace to our county, Giselle Hockaday. Hockaday has been accused, and filmed sometimes, committing a terrifying litany of disgraceful offences across our local area. These crimes include, but are not limited to, robbery without reason, drive-by photography, harsh words at old people, unlawful and offensively loud counting down from 10 in public spaces, general haberdashery, rigging of three regional strongman competitions, poisoning of the Pope, spitting at things, unsolicited bus conducting, assault on our freedoms, aggravated limerick theft, attempting to bribe a member of the local Domino's delivery workforce. I mean, I could go on, but I can't be bothered. Suffice it to say, this Giselle is one tough customer. We're hearing that Hockaday herself could be travelling to and from her offences in a red sports car and committing those said offences in a red sports bra. Any information on her whereabouts will be appreciated by me personally, and I'll forward that straight on to the Live Active Crime Association, and the best tip-offs will be in with a chance to win a lifetime supply of marble grease. The Live Active Crime Association have added, please stop sending us tweets about Stanley Kubrick films. We don't know why on earth people have started doing that. We personally here at the LACA prefer the directorial style of Donovan Flask or the newer work of Gavin Infrastructure. Message today and make our day, unless it's about Stanley Kubrick. Chilling stuff, I'm sure you'll agree. While I ponder that, and you can get in touch, text studio plus your message to 88802, tweet at Durham On Air, email studio@durhamonair.com if you have any information on the whereabouts of Giselle Hockaday. Hey, that's the first time I screwed up all evening. So let's just take a moment to enjoy. I'll be back after our second advertisement break. But first, Instrument by Sons. This is a cracker. Push. Welcome back to Chris Pollard Live here on Durham On Air, on DAB, online radio, and if you can find the link, this is actually going out on video somewhere. Hello to whoever may be watching. Hope you're doing alright. It's Wednesday night, my dudes. Still to come, we've got Time Capsule, we've got a top 5 somewhere, I'm sure, amongst the whole host of other things here, live from the Chris Pollard Live Community Contact Centre. If you want to get in touch at all tonight, there are various methods to do so. You can text studio plus your message to 88802. You can email studio@durhamonair.com. You can tweet at Durham On Air. We're going to be here until 11 p.m. as always, taking your suggestions, thoughts, and trivia. Earlier on, we asked you our tonight's big question. And the big question has not changed. It remains. We haven't had any correct answers according to our on-site botanist. How on earth do you spell rhododendron? He has said as well, don't just look for it on Google and then send that because he'll know. Okay? He did tell me to make that sure, to make sure that I let you know. I'm not really sure where my mouth is right now. I've got a good idea though. I've got a feeling it's about to be wrapped around a top 5, because it's time for your top 5 hurtful things to call a slug. Number 5, old slimy belly. Number 4, homeless snail. Number 3, like a big alive bogey. Number 2, Mr. and Mrs. I can't have any salt on my dinner. But number 1, Boris.
Come on!
Welcome back to Chris Pollard Live. Thank you very much for joining me. It's Wednesday night, it's 10 p.m. and we're halfway through the festivities and enjoyment here on another... It's quite a warm Wednesday evening actually. It's getting there. I can't wait to spend all summer sneezing my head off and crying because Time Team has been taken off our schedules. Rest in peace, Tony Robinson. If you want to get in touch tonight, you can text studio plus your message to 88802. You can email studio@durhamonair.com. You can tweet at Durham On Air. It's lovely, lovely, lovely to be back amongst your fine, fair foliage once again. Earlier on in tonight's show, I should just say, of course, for those of you who are unacquainted, there was Lust for Life by Iggy Pop. Before that, I'm going to get the name wrong here. Oh, this could be deeply embarrassing. You heard Kumanda Kwa Bambawanda by Ngozi family. I hope I haven't offended anyone with that delve into names of another nation. We made it. Tightrope. Also earlier on in tonight's programme you heard the thrilling phoning competition Whose Mum's Bra Have I Got On? And still to come later we've got a jamboree of thrilling entertainment including a world record attempt, people, which will see me use as many sarcastic phrases as I can in 1 hour, hopefully breaking the record of American dry wit enthusiast Hercules' hypothesis. While recently I've been off with an illness, I wasn't here last week. I was here for 5 minutes. I fell asleep at the desk. Check that one out on Mixcloud. But while I was off poorly, I did have the pleasure of finally getting my feet up and enjoying some literature, diving imagination first into a thick pond of novels, books, and just bits of paper with words on. So I think it's only right that I recommend just a few of my favourites of the many, many books I consumed during my illness period as we open up the book club. And like I say, these are just a few. I did read a lot because I'm very intellectual, you see, and I read books. I've read like 3 books today, so there. But these are just a couple of my favourites from the last couple of weeks. Up first is going to be the only autobiography of the lot, as I'm getting a bit tired, of reading the life story of people who had a successful life and it all got quite easy quite quickly. I hate that. But this autobiography in particular, I genuinely did find tugged all the right heartstrings at all the right times. It is, of course, the story of Britain's most cherished pop star and Catholic tobacconist Cliff Richard and his 18,000-word whopper, Inside My Secret Passageway. On the fiction side of things, I got through 2 fantastic Greg Bleeble novels. First off, the gunslinging, crime-busting, car-crashing a curry house type epic that I've been searching for years. Do try and pick up a coffee. Coffee? Pick up a coffee, and then pick up a copy of Sarg Elu and Death for Two. The other Bleeble novel. Oh, right. Let's try that again. Book club. The other Bleeble novel that I surprisingly had many sleepless nights over was the erotic 20s thriller Hedgehog Juice. You could practically smell the sordid pre-deodorant era musk dripping off the pages with each crispy, crusty turn, although that may have been because I bought this second-hand from a pornographical charity shop. Also, if you are in the book club and you're a fan of the chocolates Revels, why not just nip to the shops and buy some, for Christ's sake? One of my favourite genres in literature is Cornish time travel, or in today's case more specifically, ancient Exeter escapades. A cunning and imaginative take on Exeter's first recorded instance of organised hermit crab combat league. The characters within are hysterical, they're fantastically observed, the dialogue is superb, and it's all wrapped together nicely by first-time author Leyland Wrinklepiece. I got my copy, first edition copy, via the means of theft. And finally, a ferocious and agonising tale of 2 battling Roman conquerors. One he'd soaked in vinegar overnight, and the other, he'd asked his mum to put it in the freezer overnight, but she forgot, so it only got a quick 20 minutes before school. Whoever loses, Rome wins. Written and self-published, of course, by the Brotherhood of Anklet Fashion and Ankle Accessories Anonymous. 5 of my favourite publications to have hit the shelves of your local good bookstores. So make sure you do go and check those out almost immediately. I insist. Honestly, no, do it. Go to your Waterstones and buy all 5. And if you haven't, I'll find you. Thanks for listening to Chris Pollard Live. We'll be right back after some more music. Here's Dinosaur Jr. with I Walk for Miles. I'll see you in 5 minutes. I don't know what's going on either. But welcome back to Chris Pollard Live. You're listening to Durham on Air, wherever you're listening to it, and I hope you're having an enjoyable enough evening. However felt. Oh, it's getting late, isn't it, people? But yes, thank you very much again for joining me here on this Wednesday night. If you do want to get in touch, please text Studio plus your message to 88802. You can email studio@durhamonair.com. You can indeed tweet @DurhamOnAir. You just heard I Walk for Miles by Dinosaur Jr. And I hope you enjoyed that. It was a bit long, but I liked it. Ooh. Still to come later on in tonight's programme, we're going to have the live ritualistic sacrifice of 4 name brand dishwasher tablets, and we're going to be having a one-on-one sit-down chat with a very, very corrupt mosquito. Unfortunately, they all are to come later on in the programme, as they're much later on in the programme, as we do have to cut to our 3rd of 4 ad breaks this evening. I do certainly apologise, but that is not before we have heard The Tide is High by the Paragons, the original Kerry Katona be damned. I'm sure she's lovely. It's time for the time capsule. Welcome to the time capsule, which I've just realised isn't going to work very well now that I'm doing this on video. So, what we're going to have here is 3 items that I do have, let's say, in my shed, that I'm going to bury tomorrow when it's not dark out. Good save. These items are going to be artefacts buried at a later date and brought into light, shone upon with a light, and said, oh, that's not right. Going into the time capsule today, first off, we have a long laundry list of Cheshire-based criminal activities. Second up, we've got Dog, the bounty rapper putter back in the Celebrations boxer. And finally, the original ponytail that saved David Seaman's life, causing him to sport one out of respect for the next 35 years. They will be going into the time capsule. You can mark my word. Who's Mark?
How does it feel when you stop smoking?
Brilliant, I've finally quit.
It feels good.
I was so proud of myself.
Whoa, kill switch. I promised you all the Paragons with The Tide is High. And I can only hear adverts. So let's try that again, shall we? Okay. That's much more like it. I'll be back after the ad break. Bye. Alright, enough playing around. This isn't a meme compilation here. This is Chris Pollard Live for County Durham for Durham on Air. You just heard Atomic by Blondie. Of course you did. That's 2 songs from Trainspotting tonight. I've only just realised as that was on. But you probably didn't realise until I said that. Up next, Perfect Day by Lou Reed. And then some sort of druggy song. Before the ad break, you heard The Tide is High by the Paragons, the proper good one, like the original one, you know. Not to be disrespectful. If you want to get in touch, you've still got around half an hour to do so. Oh my goodness, I've only got half an hour left. Them adverts must have been pretty late, eh? You can text studio plus your message 88802. You can email studio@durhamonair.com. you can tweet at Durham on air. Durham on air. Now, for those that are long-time Chris Pollard Live enthusiasts, people of this secular commune, will know that I've been experimenting with a short-form radio soap drama. It's The Archers for the TikTok generation. It's Have I Got News for You on Speed. It's Gardener's World on Tang Fastics and McDonald's Milkshake. It's quite simply Kloopsbury Common, and we have a new episode for you right now. Kloopsbury Common. Kloopsbury Common. That's Kloopsbury Common.
Right. Nobody leaves this house, right? Nobody leaves this house, right? Until my car keys are returned to me.
But Dad, we don't even have a car! Kloopsbury Common was written and directed by Wilma Fishslice and whisked into existence by all four of them blokes that kidnapped Archduke Crackpots Mahoney. Here's some Joni Mitchell. So soon? Yes. I need the toilet. Chris Pollard Live. Cottage cheese. Yes, cottage cheese. Indeed. Welcome back to Chris Pollard Live. There was Joni Mitchell with The Jungle Line. Great song, eh? I hope you're doing alright wherever you're listening to Durham on air. I believe this is the end of tonight's live sort of shows and programming and whatnot. But make sure that you join me again on Saturday at 10 p.m. for some Guppy Dance Floor, some high energy dance mayhem, chaos frenzy, hugs and kisses for all. We do have a bit more business to take care of in regards to our community driven content here at the Chris Pollard Live Community Contact Centre. So we'll start that right now, I suppose, with a slight update on your traffic and travel.
Chris Pollard Live, traffic and travel.
Because looking at my screen here, there appears to be a large gust of wind that's going to be passing through Durham later this weekend, affecting travel on all major local roads as we So the traffic and travel didn't quite work. It was all an elaborate Piers Morgan joke and there was a Petri dish involved. But it appears that it was too complex for my mere palate this evening. So instead, let's find out what is today's clip art image of the day.
Clip art image of the day.
Okay, so this week's day's clip art image of the day is this one. It's been sent in by Edith, and it is a watercolour painting of dart player Phil the Power Taylor, and he's making an unwarranted physical advance on a Greg's cheese and onion roll. Here's the Rosillos.
Now we're on our own. Now it's ready to roll. How I waited for.
On Durham on air.
Alrighty then, welcome back to Chris Pollard Live. Can you believe the time? It's nearly time for us to go already. Before the ad break, you heard Top of the Pops by Rosillos, one of my favourite sort of old school British punk outfits. They are British, aren't they? Just singing about Top of the Pops. maybe. After the break, you heard Tones on Tail Happiness. That's something, I'm not sure if it's new or not. It's definitely new to the show. But it came out in 1998. Not too new then. It's older than my little sister. Do you know what else is older than my little sister? My mum and dad, obviously. What we do have still to come tonight, obviously, is not a lot of planned stuff because I'm talking a load of rubbish. We've got a few more great tunes, and we've got a couple of things to pop into the chamber of shame. If you want to get in touch for whatever reason in these last 10 minutes and want to be breaking that boundary down, you can text studio plus your message, as always, to 88802. Email studio@durhamonair.com, and indeed text, tweet @DurhamOnAir. Right now, it's time to pretty much wrap up the community-driven content. Like I say, I've got Chamber of Shame, but that's very much personal opinion based. It's time for some cold, hard deals for you that I've pulled out of my little tight voucher book. The voucher book. Yes, welcome to the voucher book, where I lay out my wares and see what you fancy to shares. No? No. Some of the deals I've managed to broker with local businesses, independent retailers and the like, just for you good listeners at home, all off my own back. And I've got in 3 fights this week just trying to sort this segment out, so I hope you do really take advantage of some of these offers. First up, we have 50% off dinner for 2 at Danny Milburn's house. Danny Milburn has a GCSE in food tech and is looking forward to starting his A-level. He promises to make his house smell less like isolated teenager without a girlfriend. That is, if you take him up on 50% off dinner for 2 at Danny Milburn's house. Text me and I'll text him. And we can set that up via, I don't know, Discord. What do they use these days? Next up, Youngest enters free this weekend only with code CPL at the County Durham Cricket and Cucumbers Alliance. They're hosting a garden party on Sunday, so make sure you're there for that. Free entry for the for any free entry for any human being on Earth this weekend at Sandy Wishbone's Wasp Bee and Dragonfly Grill. Have you ever tried a grilled wasp? Of course you haven't. I made that up for the radio. Also, if you are passing through town this weekend and you want to visit the Big Morrisons off Sledgetick Road, a Chris Pollard Live voucher book special tip is very, very easy to shoplift from as long as you're careful, and the security guard is quite slow and over encumbered. So as long as you leg it, you're good. Don't nick a 60-inch telly. Also, quote Chris Pollard Live for more than 40% off, up to 50% off. Any selective contraceptive carrots at Dr. Siobhan's Academy of Alternative Medicine. No refunds, no blame for any misuse down the line, or screaming little. Yes. So if you want to take advantage of any of those vouchers that I have, deals that I've brokered with those local businesses, do get in touch. You only have 13 minutes to take advantage of them. And you only have 2.5 minutes to take advantage of every single thing by Home Shake. I'll see you afterwards.
Chris Pollard Live. It ain't over till the Bovril's bubbling.
But unfortunately, that Bovril has bubbled once more. And it is time for new ventures, us all to explore. I hope you enjoyed tonight's programme. Make sure you're back with me Saturday night for Guppy Dance Floor at 10 p.m. for some dance music mayhem. But if not, I'm sure I'll see you here, same time, next week. And if not, catch you down the road from County Durham's #1 chode. It's Chris Pollard Live, bidding you a good night to you and your wife.